Kyle Brandt from NFL Network's Good Morning Football, talking about what he thinks some folks are overlooking about Deshaun Watson.
The fact of the matter is he came back last year and played 6 games, and they were mostly against bad teams. They weren't very well watched. He didn't play very well. But they went 3-3, and that's how they ended the season. Instead of bringing up those clips and saying, look how bad he was, I think it's important at this point on the football field to remember what he was before. Before the world changed, before he changed. This is from 2020. He went 700 days, 700, between playing for the Texans and playing for the Browns. Imagine right now, we leave the table today, and we don't do another Good Morning Football show till May of 2025. Peter, it sounds like your dream. That's what Deshaun Watson did, 700 days. But I want you to look at these Texans highlights. This is the COVID season, empty stands. It was a terrible, terrible Texans team. They were 4-12. J.J. Watt walks off the field with Deshaun in the last game and tells him, I'm sorry we wasted one of your years of your prime. You know how good Deshaun Watson was that year? He was amazing. Amazing. You won't believe this. This is a forgotten thing. That year, passer rating, your efficiency, all that, #1 stat for quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers was #1 in the league. Yeah. Okay? He won the MVP that year. Jason McCourty, I'll go back at you. Yep. 31 other starters that year, full-time starters. Rodgers was 1. Where do you think Deshaun Watson ranked in passer rating on a 4-12 team?
Passer rating. 4-12.
Yeah.
You said he was really good.
Yeah.
I'll go 12th.
He was 2nd.
And Tim, that's, the reason. It's kind of interesting. The national people, after you have heard what's going on, how Deshaun Watson looks, you're starting to hear more and more of them thinking that he might get back to that 2020 level.
Yeah, and I think, the further we get away from the off-field situation that he had to deal with, I think, the better it's going to end up being for, when we kind of more understand what Deshaun Watson, the football player, was, prior to the end of the 2020 season. It's easy to forget, because he hasn't played in 2 years, that, he was 700 days removed between, NFL appearances, that this guy was seen as one of the great up-and-coming quarterbacks in the NFL, that he was approaching that Patrick Mahomes level, that, the one thing that what was keeping him from really, challenging Mahomes was the fact that the team around him was not very good, and it kept getting worse and worse throughout his career till 2020 when, obviously the talent of the roster just wasn't there anymore. So now you fast forward to 2023, he's got those 6 games under his belt. He's used to playing behind that offensive line. He's more used to Kevin Stefanski. He's now got all these extra receivers to work with, a more talented passing game to work with, an offense that should lean more towards the pass than it has, for the Browns in the past few seasons. Everything is aligned for the Browns to really, break through and have a good season. What that looks like, I don't know. What does Deshaun Watson look like? Houston Deshaun Watson, I don't know. But if he can approach that, I think that's what's kind of important. And it's, again, when you don't play for so long, it's easy to forget, just how good he was, because it feels like a long time ago that, he was putting up those numbers.